Everyone to this regular business meeting of the Board of School Trustees on today, Monday, November 27th. Thank all of you for coming on this cold evening. We'll first get started with item 1.02, our Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence led by Mr. Vassar. If everyone could please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just let you know, we do have a board member present via phone, so when we come to a vote tonight, I'll be calling for a roll call so Mr. Smith can vote via phone this evening. So with that, we'll get started with item 2, Board of School Trustees Resolution of Accommodation Awards. The first one being Timothy Ball Elementary Spell Bowl Team for winning first place in the Lake County in the Orange class at the 2023 Elementary Spell Bowl Competition. 2.02, Colonel John Wheeler Middle School Spell Bowl Team for winning first place in Lake County in Class 1 and being named a state finalist at the 2023 Regional Junior Spell Bowl Competition. And item 2.03, Crossroads Regional Chamber of Commerce 2023 Inspiring Educator Awards for overall, with winners all through the corporation. Can I have a motion to approve those 3 commendation awards?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Bazin, seconded by Mr. Vassar. Any question or discussion? All those in favor by signaling aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Bazin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Angel? Aye. That motion carries 4-0. With that, we're going to present those awards individually. If I could have the Timothy Ball Elementary Spell Bowl team please come in and face the crowd, please. I will read the Accommodation Award. Resolution of Accommodation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the 2023-2024 Timothy Ball Elementary School Spell Bowl team for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 2023-2024 Timothy Ball Elementary School Spell Bowl team for winning first place in Lake County in the Orange class at the 2023 Elementary Spell Bowl Competition. Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity dated this 27th day of November 2023. I will read your names, and then if you come up, I'll shake your hand, congratulate you, and then you go back in your spot, and then eventually, Brooke, we'll get a picture of you so nobody will go anywhere, okay? Tara Bull. Come on up, Tara. Jeffrey Garcia. Oh, boy. Sophia Gligorova. Hope I got that close. Congratulations. Jackson Hall. Emma Hurt. Daksha Kalra? How was it? Dosh? Dox. Okay, I'm sorry, Dox. Congratulations. I could have been here all night, unfortunately, with that one. Bree Kowalison? Lucy Kowalison? Naomi Mara? Elliot Mazur? Alex Pulkowski? Joseph Sweetles. And our two coaches, Lynn Carlson and Todd Emery. Coaches, I always offer an opportunity to say anything about the team this year. Either one of you would like to say a few words?
I just think we had a great group, hardworking, came to practices, worked hard, tried their best. We had a lot of fun with them, enjoyed spending time with them.
I could never get Fox's name right either. I just call them dogs.
Oh, okay. I don't feel as bad now, thanks. All right, if we could get a picture, Miss Allen, you probably got a group together here in a couple groups, maybe some down in front if you want to. Oh, Lynn, I'll give you the team. Yeah, you too. Those parents that are part of that group, if you'd like to take your child and go, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest and until the end, for all that matter. That's up to you. But we usually do dismiss you after your award is presented. All up to you, though. You're more than welcome to stay. And that's usually what happens, just for the record. Colonel Wheeler, come on in. Good evening. I will read the Resolution of Commendation Award. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the 2023-2024 Colonel Wheeler Middle School Spell Bowl team for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the 2023-24 Colonel Wheeler Middle School Spell Bowl team for winning first place in Lake County in Class 1 and being named a state finalist at the Regional Junior Spell Bowl competition. Trustees publicly recognize this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity dated this 27th day of November, 2023. I'll read your names, give you a handshake, congratulate you, and then you can go back in line, and Ms. Allen will be coming up to get a picture. Carter Courtwright. Joshua Garcia. Cheyenne Khan. Did I say that, Cheyenne? Cheyenne, congratulations, Cheyenne. Solomon Mazwazdiza? No? Say that for me. No, please, I want to. Okay, like he said. Congratulations, Solomon. Alyssa Nelson. Roan Radula. Valerie Shanks, not here this evening. And our coach, Mr. James Hensley. I was told a few words about your team, but I got to bring this to you, because if not, Mr. Gill will yell at me.
We don't want that. This team was great. This is my first year doing the Spell Bowl, and these kids couldn't have been more amazing this year. They came in, they studied really hard. They said some spelled some really amazing words. Shayan actually qualified for the state individual contest and only missed one word out of 50 words and got a silver distinction for that. And so we're looking forward to years to come from this team, and I'm just very proud of each and every one of them.
Miss Allen's coming up to get a quick picture. All right, thank you, congratulations. Parents, I'm giving you the same offer I gave the first group. You're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you also are welcome to leave. In the meantime, if I could all of my Crossroad finalists, inspiring educators, come forward, please. And now, well, it just helps me out because now I can address ladies because it's all late. Well, I thought Mr. Bunda was here. Oh. He wasn't instruction. Must be something you learn at Ohio State or something. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bunda. I couldn't resist, you know that. I had no harm by it. Congratulations on behalf of the School Board of Trustees on your Inspiring Educator Awards. I'll refrain from that because they're all kind of different, but I will read each one individually as far as what school. So overall, the overall competition winner I'm going to hold off on. Finalist from Eisenhower, Sarah Fritz. From Lake Street, Christina, help me with that one, Scopelgia. She's not here. Want to make sure I give her just due.
We have a box for 'em, too.
Oh,
So
we have a
that's for
box, see?
Sarah.
All right, see, they got to help me out with instructions. Thank you, Sarah.
Who are you up next?
She's not here this evening, so we'll go from there. Dennis Bunda. Thank you. Annie Svetkov. Not here. Katie Kreis. Did I say Kreis or Kreis? Kreis, sorry, Katie. Congratulations. Hold on for your award here. Bailey Lordson. Oh, that was Christina. Nicole Shipshack. And the only reason I got that right is I've known her for a long time. So otherwise, there's no way I would have got that one. Alicia Zarn. Rebecca Zolt. Nope. And Karen Bulow. Get those to them. Dr. Terrell, anything you want to say about that? I mean, you know more about it than I do.
Congratulations, you guys did a great job representing us. Thank you to the chamber and all those involved in putting this on each and every year, and we appreciate everything you do for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Don't
And
go
gentlemen.
anywhere, we got to get
Nope,
pictures.
Brooke's got to get pictures. Thank you, congratulations. Item 3 tonight is patrons' comments. When originally signed in sheet, there was no patrons registered comments to speak today. Is that still accurate with anybody that walked in late? Okay. Item 4, our consent agenda. Dr. Terrell?
Thank you. For your consideration this evening, we have 4.01, our minutes as listed, 4.02, the personnel agenda, and then 4.03, again, voucher registered checks as listed.
You've heard the recommendation from the administration for approval of the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Wanted to give Brian a chance.
A motion by Ms. Bazin, seconded by Mr. Smith. Question or discussion on any of those items? There being none, roll call for vote. Mr. Vassar?
Abstain.
Abstain. Ms. Bazin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Angel? Aye. 3 and 1 abstain. With that, obviously that's approved, and we'll move on to item 5, action items.
Do you want to give them the same line about leaving?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Once again, I understand you guys have busy days teaching our students and doing everything else you do besides that, so you are more than welcome to leave. It's not going to be held against you, let's say that.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, see, there we go, see? I've never got a round of applause for it, but that was good, I'll take it. I'm having a little problem with my mouse, so bear with me here. All right. Item 5, action item 1, course additions, Crown Point High School. Mrs. Ramirez, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. Tonight, we are seeking approval for Crown Point High School course additions for the 24-25 school year. The administration is recommending that the school board approve the courses as outlined as additions for Crown Point High School, again, to be implemented in the 24-25 school year. Are there any questions about this recommendation?
Yes, Mrs. Ramirez, could you walk us through the process of how, excuse me, how courses come to us to get?
Sure.
Well, Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to hold you up 1 second. I'm just going to go through protocol, we'll have that open question.
Oh, okay.
All right, yes. You've heard the recommendation for approval of the course additions recommended by the administration. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Vassar, second by Ms. Bazin. Now questions, we're good to go.
Sure.
Thank you.
What we do is we receive requests from our department chairs. We also look at career pathways for our students to meet the high school diploma requirements. We want to make sure that we have an abundance of pathways that meet the needs and interests of our students so that they are college and career ready. So we would look at adding a pathway here. We see one that will be added in our science field so that we can have students who are exiting our coursework here at the high school that will be able to sit for the CNA assessment and leave with that credential. We also want to make sure when we look at our culinary arts or our teaching and learning that those are the third-year courses in a pathway, so our students are receiving dual credits as well as then preparing themselves for work that they will either continue in the workforce or in their post-secondary university or college placement. We also then work with our guidance department. We also get information from local organizations that we work with, like Northwest Indiana, that tell us about careers that are up and coming and making sure that we are preparing for the future and preparing our students for jobs that they will be eligible to obtain.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Of course.
So for the, yeah, that's okay. For the, I understand what you're saying about the healthcare specialist. I understand that completely. The courses for teaching and learning, is that in cooperation with IUN?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought that was. And for the fitness training course, where does that fall into that pathway thing that you're?
This is the course that is not part of the pathway. It is not a dual credit course. However, this does give our students who are not in an actual sport but want to participate in this type of fitness training course the opportunity to do so. It really expands our offering to make sure that we are inclusive and able to address all students in our, in our high school being able to take this physical education course.
Well, I think that's novel. So that means that if you're not participating in organized athletics, this is the course for you. But if you're in athletics, you cannot be in this course. Is that
You
what
would
you're
be in a kind of an equivalent course that focuses more on weightlifting and uses other equipment that would really prepare them more for the competition. This is more for personal physical health and well-being and interest.
saying? Well, I think that's great.
Any other questions? All those in favor by signifying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin? Aye. Mr. Smith? Aye. Mr. Angel, aye. Motion carries 4-0. 5.02, out-of-country field trips to Costa Rica, spring break, 2025. Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. We are seeking approval and support for an out-of-country field trip to Costa Rica for Crown Point High School students during spring break of 2025, and are hoping that your approval for this recommendation that is administratively supported will allow students to travel to Costa Rica again in spring of 2025, and these would be CPHS students.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval of the Costa Rica out-of-country trip for Crown Point High School students during spring break of 2025. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Vassar, seconded by Ms. Basin. Question or discussion? All those in favor? Oh,
Sorry,
go
just a
ahead.
quick
Nope.
question. So I see that this one's capped at 36 students, and I saw there's a 6-to-1 ratio for the chaperones. Are those chaperones going to be all teachers? Will they be parents? Or
It
do
can
we have
be a
that?
combination.
Okay, is there any training that they have to receive prior to that?
They would make sure that they have passed our safe visitors, that they have a clean background check, and that they are meeting the requirements of kind of what is outlined in terms of being punctual, making sure that they can take attendance, all of those things to make sure that our students are safe while traveling. But we would run them through our system that we use with any of our volunteers or chaperones.
But they don't have to speak that language?
They don't have to speak the
Okay.
language. They do not. No.
So that makes us all eligible.
There we go. Do I have 3 takers?
Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith? Aye. Mr. Angel? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. 5.03, out-of-country field trip to France, summer of 2025. Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. We are also here seeking approval for Crown Point High School students to be able to travel out of country to France during the summer of 2025 through an organized trip by Education First Tours, and are seeking your approval for this administratively recommended trip to France, out-of-country trip for Crown Point High School students, again, summer 2025.
You've heard the recommendation from the administration for approval for the France out-of-country trip for Crown Point High School students, June 17th through the 28th of 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Basin, second by Mr. Vassar. Questions or discussion?
No, I just want to say thank you. I'm not sure if it's you that initiated or some of the teachers or how this came about exactly, but I love the opportunity for our students to have these worldwide experiences through, organized and kind of making them more excited to do well in their foreign language and continue on to 2nd and 3rd levels for each of those things. So thank you for bringing that to us.
Yes, thank you to the teachers who are committed to really expanding the horizons of our students and giving them numerous opportunities both within the classroom and then, of course, outside of the classroom. And thank you for your support of these requests.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith? Aye. Mr. Angel? Aye. Motion approves 4-0. Thank you again, Mr. Ramirez, for your help in that. 5.04, approval to apply for and receive Indiana Department of Education Alternative Education Grant. Mr. Hardman.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. We're seeking your approval tonight for $12,040.40 from the IDOE, Indiana Department of Education. This is for our alternative education program. The funding is based on a total of 40 students that attend our program, 20 students in the morning, 20 spots in the afternoon session, and based on the state budget, that generated us $602.02 per student.
You want me to start over? Thank you. Seeking your approval to apply for and receive those funds this evening.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration to apply for and receive funding from the Indiana Department of Education Alternative Education Grant in the amount of $12,040.40. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Vassar, seconded by Ms. Basin. Question or discussion?
Jim, does this grant come up year after year?
It is an annual grant. Normally, this is a unique year. Usually, we don't actually see the amount. We just get the grant. And so this is kind of a good time, good thing tonight to be able to tell you how much money we're receiving and what the allocation per student is.
Thank you.
Questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Angel? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Hardman. 5.05, policy additions and revisions, the second reading and the adoption. Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. As you may recall, last month I brought to the group a set of policies to be reviewed for a first reading. As you know, we're going to be transitioning into ISBA policies. So last month, I presented to you for review two criminal history background check policies for employees and contractors. Also, the new tag grant, we updated that, or we would like to. A bullying policy that will be updated and revised, and also a new challenge to library media and other supplementary materials. At this point, what we would recommend is that the board waive the second reading instead of going on for a second month and approve these policies.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for a waiving of the second reading and approval of the policies, revisions, replacements, and additions. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Basin, second by Mr. Vassar. Question or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Angel? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Akiwa. 5.06, additional construction management services. Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I bring before you tonight an addendum to the Skillman contract for additional services at Lake Street and Winfield Elementaries. With the additional length of those construction projects and the time being added to them, Skillman has presented us with an addendum to add $374,850 to their contract. I want to make a note that Skillman also has waived any of their specific fees. These are the fees for the actual personnel on site. So the oversight of the project, those fees have been waived. However, the fees for actual personnel on site, that's what the additional dollar amount is for. All these were done within the same guidelines of their original contracts that you've approved 2 or 3 years ago in the past for these projects. So with that, we're recommending approval of amendments to accurately reflect the scope of the changes for the 2021 projects.
You've heard the recommendation from the administration for the approval of the addendum to actually reflect the changes in the scope for the 2021 projects as attached and the additional fees of contract of $374,850. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Basin, seconded by Mr. Vassar. Question or discussion? I would just say, Mr. Reese, this is all part of our no additional funds needed from additional bonds or anything like that because it's included.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Mr. Vassar?
Aye.
Ms. Basin?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Angel? Aye. Motion approves 4-0. Thank you for your help on that, Mr. Reese. And we appreciate Skillman waiving those fees with our long history with Skillman. We greatly appreciate their waiving those additional fees. Item 6, information and recognition items. 6.01, policy additions and revisions. First reading, Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I bring to you this evening a new set of policies for your review for the next month, or short month, I should say, as we roll into our next board meeting. As you see there in the summary, we have policy 2300, which is a disclosure of student lists. This prevents the release of student information, names, addresses, emails to any commercial organization for the use of commercial purposes. This does not include commercial organizations. This does not include the armed forces. We also will be updating our homeless student policy. So this policy is going to replace our current Neola policy. It's very much the same on the ISBA side. Basically outlines the support we provide to families and students in this category. In addition, we have policy 4304. This is a new one we're putting in place for to help Mr. Gianfermi in his efforts with school safety, criminal organization activity in schools. This is a policy that must be in place according to state law, which addresses criminal activity and/or gangs. And this talks to, or speaks to, recognizing the presence of these organizations, discipline, investigations, and support students for students and families that might be affected or involved. It also speaks to the corporation's need to communicate more closely with local law enforcement in this area. Policy 4340, acceptable use of internet and filtering software. Please keep in mind, this does not replace our acceptable use policy of technology overall. This speaks really directly to the internet. We're having Brian Gill also take a look at this. He gave us a thumbs up on the language with maybe a couple of minor tweaks with terminology, but this one will coexist with our current policy for acceptable use of technology. And finally, we'll be updating our exit interview designee policy. If you weren't aware that individuals that are between the ages of 16 and 18 that withdraw from high school, they have to, by law, be interviewed by the superintendent's designee, which in this case would be the principal or a counselor, to gather information on the reasons for that withdrawal. So this allows us to go ahead and name the individuals that would be doing this interviewing in policy 5530. So again, as we move towards updating and replacing old policies from Neola to ISBA, this set of 5 policies we ask you take into consideration for a first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Akiwa. With that being a first reading, really, we'll review those and be back next month, I assume, for the second reading and approval. So any questions or concerns come up, we can reach out individually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 6.02, Superintendent's Discussion Groups. Mr. Vassar, anything from any of the areas?
Cedar Lake Redevelopment Commission, they pushed their next meeting to after the new year. They're changing board down there almost in its entirety. So I think they're pushing things out. So no report.
Thank you very much. Mr. Smith, we'll wait till next month when you're back in person. That okay with you?
Yes, that'll be fine, thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to 6.03, Director of Grants and Assessments, Mr. Hardman.
Yes, again, thank you very much. I want to give you an update on our
I want to turn on my microphone. I want to give you an update on our Title I grant. If you recall, back in July, I think it was, when I brought it to you, we were using projected numbers as far as our Title I free and reduced lunch populations. And at that time, Jerry Ross was a possibility for receiving Title I money. When we received the October 1st student enrollment numbers, which included free and reduced lunch populations, we were able then to use more accurate numbers for that. Jerry Ross did not qualify for, but we are able, because of the size of our allocation this year, which is the highest in the last 5 years at $662,000, we're able to bring on Colonel Wheeler Middle School as a Title I school. And this is their first year that they have been a Title I school, and we've been able to actually service Colonel Wheeler Middle School. So I want to just give you that update that we did make a change from what I had originally said, and just to let you know that Colonel Wheeler is going to be part of our Title I programming.
Thank you, Mr. Hardman. Any questions or comments? No? Thank you, Mr. Hardman.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Director of Elementary Education, Mr. Chiquino. Still getting used to this new format here with the new layout.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I am excited to share that we held over 3,700 parent-teacher conferences during late October and early November, which was just shy of 97% of all elementary students that had a conference held. It takes a ton of planning and hard work on behalf of our teachers to make this happen. Just really proud and grateful to our teachers for the exceptional job that they did to hold all of these conferences, and also appreciative to our parents for their commitment to partner for the success of our kids. I feel like over 3,700 individual touch points and connections is really powerful and meaningful in just a small amount of time. So great job to our teachers. I also want to provide a little update on an exciting new opportunity for our elementary schools that we've been working on in the area of STEM. Next year, we are hoping to add elementary STEM as our 5th specials rotation. So in addition to music, art, PE, and library, we will be adding STEM next year as a 5th specials opportunity. We really want our students to be prepared for the careers and the opportunities that are going to face them, and we feel like this starts in elementary school. So this is something that we've been working on. We've had a small STEM planning team that's been meeting since August to get the ball rolling. And kind of right now we're in the interview phase to identify who our elementary STEM specialist will be, who will help us kind of lead this and get the planning going so we're ready for August. Any questions?
I think that STEM's great, Nick. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. In your experience as principal, were you ever over 97% participation with
Yeah.
parents?
So
That's a
looking.
high number.
Yeah, it's a great percentage, 97%. I think in previous years, we were right at that 96, 97% mark. So it's pretty consistent with where we've been. Over 3,200 of those happened on the e-learning day. So that e-learning day is really important. And then about 500 of them happened during like an 8 a.m. time slot or during teacher's prep time. So,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Those are outstanding numbers, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
6.05, Director of Secondary Education, Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I just want to, I think, coming off of Thanksgiving, just really share how thankful we are all, I believe, to be Bulldogs. I had an administrator last week in a text chain wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, saying, like, I am thankful to be a Bulldog. And I think that that is a statement that we all genuinely believe to our core. And I think looking at today with our Spell Bowl participants, we had our Crossroad educators, we had an exciting weekend down in Indianapolis with football, we finished Mary Poppins at the high school. These are just a few touch points of what our students, staff, and community really make happen. And so I just want to really reiterate how thankful I am for the opportunity to serve Crown Point Community School Corporation and how thankful I am for those that I get to work with. Last week, our students, I think, also really exhibited their service. They really extended opportunities for families in need. We had numerous turkeys that were donated and delivered to families in need, as well as we had a great opportunity in both of our middle schools to attend a Thanksgiving feast that was hosted by students in our Applied Skills program, where they really treated us so well, and it was great to be able to highlight their talents and to interact with all of our students that day that participated, so thankful for that. Upcoming events at the high school, there are several concerts that are still upcoming. I have the dates back there if you guys would like me to grab them. I did not bring them up, but I will grab them and or share with you right after the board meeting. But we do have some exciting events, and I think the concert season at the high school is always a great one during this holiday season. So encourage you to attend as many of those as you can. Lastly, I just want to extend a big thank you to Jana Carney. Jana Carney is our media and library coordinator. She, with her support, her expertise, her experience, is really helping our whole district. She is in the trenches and really working to provide professional development, keeping us abreast of legislation, making sure that we are doing what we need to be doing to do what is best for our students, curating our collections in our libraries, providing professional development to our media center staff. She had us involved in bookmark designs with the public library, and we had 3 students win those that design contest. So she really is just making such an impact to our media center, to our collections, and to our processes. So I just want to acknowledge her and what she has accomplished in the first few months that she's been with us, and I know that she will continue to have a huge impact for us. So just want to, again, share our thankfulness for everybody that we work with and for all the great work they do.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. And if you'd be kind enough to get those dates to
Yes.
Diana Green?
Yes, I
The
will.
easiest way for us to all to track those events is
Yes.
through email. I appreciate it.
I will get those to her, and I apologize for not bringing them up.
Thank you very much. 6.06, Director of Exceptional Education, Mrs. Paskus is on her way to a conference, so we'll skip that and go to 6.07, Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Gianfermi.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I don't have much of a voice, so my recognition I'm going to package in 1 week. November 13th it started, and I think it catches the gamut of everything, athletics, academics, and fine arts. So I started that week by attending the Elementary Spell Bowl hosted at Colonel Wheeler. It's nice to recognize those kids, but it's amazing when you're watching them spell those words. Some of those words are no joke. I mean, they put a lot of hard work into that, so we really appreciate all the efforts of our coaches and our kids to make that event successful. Of course, we then hosted a semi-state football final for the first time ever, and we know the results of that. So that was an amazing turnout by the community and just the school community and the community in general, so that was super exciting. Then the next afternoon, I attended the fall play, Mary Poppins. Congratulations, Mr. Fluellen, the cast, the crew, the orchestra. That was like a professional musical. Now, we usually have that in the spring, but the foresight of some of the people that are working with them, now these kids that are in orchestra and choir won't have to compete with ISMA and a spring musical. So a nice little move that they made thinking of the kids. And then finally, I attended the Crossroad Chambers Gala where we recognized our inspiring educators at the Avalon that night. We got dressed up and we had a good time there, and our people represented us great, and we really thank the Crossroads for doing that and recognizing all the hard work of our educators. So I woke up Sunday morning, as like Mr. Ramirez said, I was just say, it's a great time to be a Bulldog. All this wonderful talent and the things that are happening in our school community. It's just great.
Thank you, Mr. Gianfermi. 6.08, Chief Human Resource Officer, Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just real quickly, I want to thank our support staff. I should say first, I want to thank the board. Not too long ago, we've approved some raises and rate increases for all of our employees here at Crown Point Community School Corporation. And I have to inform you that it is no small task to get all of the calculations done to catch people up going all the way back to July 1 of this year based on those new rates. So I just want to give a personal thank you to Gene Lang, Renee Rich in my office, Mr. Reese and his crew upstairs. It's funny I have to say that now, but the business department upstairs, Lori Cooper, Sherry Lotzenheiser, who worked tirelessly to get this accomplished. So just thank you for everybody for allowing us to make that shift into those increased rates at the Crown Point Community School Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kiwa. 6.09, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Reese.
I'd like to echo Mr. Akiwa's comments regarding the business office and his staff. It's a great working relationship between the two departments, and a lot that goes to Mr. Akiwa and his leadership of that department. I can't thank him enough for that. But enormous effort over the last month to get all that updated and correct pay is going out. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. 6.10, Director of Communication, Mrs. Allen. I remember when she used to be reluctant to speak at these meetings. No, we're good.
It's fine. Thank you and good evening. I wanted to share that today we launched a new video series called Did You Know? So we're still keeping Super Things, which is a lot of fun. It happens in the classroom. But Did You Know is a behind-the-scenes look at some of our departments and really what it takes to kind of operate a district of our size. So our first Did You Know video was about transportation. Some fun facts, we go through about $500,000 a year in fuel. We run 76 bus routes. We have 1,000 field trips a year. So that video is kind of packed full of information with all of those little facts and figures. I also wanted to just recognize all of our teachers for the Thanksgiving events and things that they planned last week. I was only in my office for about 20 minutes on Tuesday because I was running from building to building to take pictures, but it was an immense amount of fun. So preschool had Friendship Feast, Jerry Ross had their annual formal day, they also had a balloon parade, Wheeler Exceptional Learners held a lunch, and at Winfield they had Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. A lot of fun, but so many of them were connected to curriculum, and I was really impressed. So the balloon parade was not just balloons. They read a story, they talked about creativity, ingenuity, problem solving, and then they decorated their balloons and walked around the school. So it was really cool. And then finally, I just came from the first dress rehearsal at Colonel Wheeler Middle School for The Lion King. It's Friday and Saturday, and it's just adorable. So if you have time to go, it's worth it.
Thank you, Ms. Al. 6:11, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Terrell.
So a lot of mine is going to be repeats of what you've already heard, but I can't go without restating the high school play, Mary Poppins, from the actors to the sound people to the set design, the orchestra, the kids that were playing below. It was unbelievable. I mean, just fabulous. Also, Crown Point High School Athletic Department, the way that the student body rallied around our football team, the way the community came together, all the donations. We just truly appreciate the fact that we have such a strong and active community with this. But I think one of the things that I'd really like to highlight tonight, and Dave Colson is sitting out here, on Friday night, November 17th, was supposed to be the plays night, and all of a sudden we win a game at regionals, and now we're hosting semi-state. And so immediately after that, as soon as we find out, I'm getting texts from Mark and Russ and different people, and we're looking at this, and we're like, how are we going to do this with over 5,000 people at the football game? The play's going to be packed out. We delayed the start, reserved the bus lot for the people going to the play. Dave Colson did a fabulous job of orchestrating efforts with the town, the city of Crown Point, both with our police department and our EMA department. Had over 22 officers working that night. Comments that I got from Westfield's coaching staff was this was like coming into a collegiate setting with all the way the traffic was laid out to everything. So, Dave, I appreciate you and the way you coordinated that. And that doesn't go just that night. That's because of relationships and what you've done and built over the many years here at Crown Point. So thank you very much. Again, just unbelievable place right now with all the exciting things that are going on. And we look forward to the many more things that are coming with the holiday season approaching. We'll make sure we get those dates to you.
Thank you, Dr. Terrell. Item 7 tonight, other business of the board. Anything that wasn't on the agenda that anybody has that we need to bring up? There's no regional meetings, nothing I can think of, so, okay. Item 8, board statements of appreciation and recognition. We'll start with you, Mr. Vassar.
Sure, I'd like to recognize the mechanics at the bus barn. Outstanding job that they always seem to do, keeping our transportation vehicles in excellent working conditions. And as it gets a little colder, it'd be a little bit more challenging for them, but it'll be even much more appreciated at that point. So thank you for all those men and women that are there.
Thank you, Mr. Vassar. Ms. Bazin, anything this evening?
So not to reiterate things that have been said many times, but I had the opportunity to see Mary Poppins, which was absolutely amazing. It's become a tradition. I take my kids, we've gone every year. We've seen Little Mermaid and all kinds of things. But for my family, the girls' highlight was when Ethan Ogrens, who was Henry, is that his name? Right? Sorry, I'm like terrible on my Mary Poppins. But when he did the backflips in the air, so you're talking about students who have orchestrated this entire, I kept telling my daughters, like, the music you hear is not being played on a CD player on, whatever Apple Music, whatever they use now, but I'm like, there are kids in the orchestra playing instruments that make those sounds, and just really helping them understand that these are students, and everything that they see there is, I hate to say, but to me, felt about as good as when I go to Broadway in Chicago. We go to the Chicago Theater, and we've seen a number of things there recently. It is truly a class act, and it is absolutely amazing when you think about everything from the choreography is done by teachers and students and all the way through. It's absolutely amazing. So I love that I can take my kids there and they can enjoy, not only a great show, but then also to see past students who, are producing that. So that was amazing. To attend then our semi-state, I have never seen more people at a football game, like a local, football game, than there were at that game. And yet the behavior, I think, across the board was better than I've seen at any football game. Seeing kids with Valpo, clothes on and Hanover clothes on, and not Maryville, because they were also playing, they had their own stuff going on, but seeing even the way our community rallied around and came to support Crown Point was awesome. And then getting to attend the game on Saturday down at Lucas Oil was really amazing, getting to see those kids who put, so much effort into that play at kind of like, the top place you could play if you're thinking about football, so in Indiana. So it was really awesome. Seeing how many Crown Point folks made the trip down there was overwhelming. I mean, you look at Ben Davis, which is in Indianapolis, and I would argue that we had more fans there than they did, which is absolutely amazing that we have people who were driving 2 hours down to that game. So anyway, I'm very proud, as you can tell, to be a Bulldog, but very proud to get to serve in this community, and the way that our school corporation across the board, from students, parents, teachers, have represented us so well, makes me very proud. So, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just add to her sentiments about Saturday evening. For those of you who don't know, our band got to perform at halftime with our dance team. Cheerleaders were there. So it was just nice to see from a perspective of a board member where we're not technically involved on the day-to-day stuff, but to have that representation down at the state level from top to bottom, football team, the band, the dance team and all that, see the fan support, the community support. It was just a wonderful event to show, hey, this is what Crown Point does and we do it the right way. So with that, I'll lead into my number two. It's been touched on here this evening. I love the fact that we represent a community where the individuals involved in their day-to-day performance and jobs aren't afraid to either delegate authority to others or collaborate with departments, with different buildings to do what's right for kids. And it makes me just, warms my heart knowing that whatever is needed is being done and nobody has to claim their thumb to it, so to speak, you know, and sometimes there are individuals like that. And it's just nice to know that in Crown Point, we don't have that type of atmosphere and that we can do what we're here to do, and that's educate kids to the best of our ability and use tax dollars wisely to do that. So I just want to kudos to everybody on that, and that's from top to bottom. So with that, I will look for item 9, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Bazin, seconded by Mr. Vassar. Mr. Smith is gone, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much.